Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So at long last, ladies and gentlemen, many of you have been asking to hear the story. Today is the day. I finally tell you how I lost 141 Bitcoin. I really wish I was joking, but the good news is there's a valuable lesson here so you guys can enjoy my pain and misery and hopefully be a little bit wiser for the experience. So let's get into the video. And by the way, since I know there's a lot of crypto lovers watching and people who like free stuff, it's your lucky day. For a limited time, you can get up to $250 in free crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, where you can use cryptocurrency to earn interest, borrow cash, and buy or sell crypto. If you want your free crypto, use the link in the description. It also helps out the channel. And if you'd like up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $250 just for opening an account. And if you fund your account with $100, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $1,600. Unless you don't like free stocks, that is. And if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake, also using the link in the description. Let's get back to it. So just to set the scene, I first heard of Bitcoin around 2010 or 11. Being a total internet nerd and spending a lot of time on forums, I started to hear this name come up, didn't really pay a whole lot of attention. But the problem was, Bitcoin just didn't go away. I kept hearing more and more about it, seeing more investors talking about it, seeing more discussion around Bitcoin, and thought, you know what, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper. And have to give a little bit of early credit to both Peter Diamandis and Ray Kurzweil, whose newsletters were very informative about some of the activity happening around Bitcoin, especially as I began to purchase beginning in 2013. My thesis at the time was this thing's probably going to zero, but I believe that it's a reasonable bet, and I want to use the word bet, not investment, bet, that this thing could actually go to the moon, and I don't mind allocating a little bit of my capital. I ended up deciding that I was willing to put about 15% of my net worth into Bitcoin through a combination of cash and equity drawn out of real estate. Given that this was the Wild West days, I knew there was a lot of inherent risk. I thought, you know, what if I lose a passcode? What if exchange get hacked? Something along those lines. What if this thing just collapses? So I didn't expect to get a return, but I thought, you know what? This is one of those bets where I think that the risk reward is there for me. I'm okay to allocate some of my capital because my philosophy with investing and gambling/betting is this. If the odds are in my favor, I don't mind. If I think that I've got a 1 in 10 chance of getting a 100x return, I'll take that bet every day, even though that means that 9 times out of 10, I'll lose everything. This is an unemotive way to look at investments and bets, and that's how I was approaching Bitcoin. So I began accumulating Bitcoin with the expectation that it was probably going to zero, but hey, see what happens. Maybe there's a chance this thing actually goes to the moon. I also began accumulating some Litecoin. At the time, the thought was, Bitcoin is to gold what Litecoin is to silver, and I wanted to have a little bit of number 1 and 2. And then, unfortunately, the wheels fell off. You guys may or may not have noticed that I talk a lot. And so, everyone around me knew that I was investing in Bitcoin. I was also being very cautious. Hey guys, I think it's probably going to zero. That's extremely risky. Remember, we're in the Wild West. Anything could happen, so be really careful. But I do think there's a non-zero chance this thing is going to the moon. Great. A few months later, a really good friend of mine, one of the smartest guys I've ever met, told me about this awesome opportunity he discovered. And I made the single biggest investment/financial mistake of my life. This friend of mine was in a stronger financial position than I personally was. He introduced me to this opportunity. We could invest in a cryptocurrency mining operation. Sounds good. He'd been invested in this for a number of months, getting great returns, something around 13+ % per month. I thought, oh goodness me, this sounds like a crazy return. He's getting his money back. Obviously it's not a scam. Sounds good. I don't need to do a whole lot more research. And then I began investing in what turned out to be a gigantic fucking Ponzi scheme. The most embarrassing thing of all is that this was actually extremely obvious. In retrospect, I mean, red flags for days. The returns were ridiculous. It was obviously a scam from day one. Total Ponzi scheme. But moron me decided, you know what, this guy's really smart. He's in a better financial situation than I am. I'm just going to trust him. He's done his research, therefore I don't need to do any of my own. Last time I ever made that mistake. And I'm not sure what's more embarrassing. The fact that I invested in what was obviously a Ponzi scheme, or the fact that I ignored the little voice in my head that was saying, hey Steven, you know, these returns are a little bit too good to be true. You want to be careful. Maybe don't put all your money in this thing. So I didn't. I actually had a bunch in a Bitcoin exchange as well, thinking, you know what, I'm just going to take some of my profits. I don't want to put it all in there just in case I don't want to get burned. So I thought, you know what, if this thing turns to poo or this happens or that happens, I've still got some Bitcoin everywhere. It's not the end of the world. And for many months, I was getting stupendous returns from this Bitcoin mining operation, which, by the way, if any of you guys are curious, it was called LTC Gear. I can't believe what an idiot I am. Feel free to get on Google and see the whole saga, what happened with that website. Many other people got burned as well. All of the morons who didn't do their own research. It was obviously a Ponzi scheme from day one. I mean, how dumb do you have to be? Me included. So after this Ponzi scheme unraveled, I thought, you know what? I've learned my lesson. That was really dumb. I did no research. It's all on me. I'm an actual moron. How did I not? I mean, what an idiot. And in all honesty, I was just in a rush. I was chasing after great returns. I was really focused on getting ahead financially. This looked like a great shortcut. There's a lesson in that. Don't be in a rush. I was so blinded by my desire to get ahead financially that I completely overlooked the obvious red flags. It's just so embarrassing talking about this, guys. Even so, I didn't have all my money in there. I didn't have all my Bitcoin in this scam. I also kept plenty in a Bitcoin exchange, knowing that we're still in the Wild West and literally anything could happen. Having learned my lesson, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm just going to hold on to Bitcoin. We'll just see what happens. That's fine. None of these stupid returns. Don't chase after outsized returns, Stephen. You've learned your lesson. Don't be an idiot. And that's exactly what I did. Given the fact that I've taken more psychedelics than you've had birthdays, guaranteed, and that I've done a whole lot of mindfulness meditation, this financial loss didn't actually faze me whatsoever. I continued to invest in real estate, work on my career, and just go about my business knowing, hey, I thought there was a chance this goes to zero, lost a bit of money here, not a big deal, plus some of it I borrowed against real estate, it wasn't really out of pocket, so not a big deal. I continued holding Bitcoin thinking, you know what, set and forget, long-term hold, and continued to build out my real estate portfolio. No problem, right? Wrong. In an effort to continue building my real estate portfolio and come up with a deposit for my next purchase a little sooner, I decided to withdraw some of my Bitcoin balance and use that towards the purchase. I consulted with my accountant, what are the tax implications, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're all good here, perfect. And by the way, at that point in time, there was very little written by the Australian Taxation Office on cryptocurrencies. There's a whole lot now, but it was very hard. We had to have a phone call with them. Hey guys, what do we do? How's this work? Blah, 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 blah. But we figured it out. I'm like, great, I'll withdraw some Bitcoin. That'll go towards my next investment purchase and I'll accelerate things even further. There was a problem. The Bitcoin withdrawal was only meant to take a couple of days, and after about 11 days I started to worry a little bit. Uh-oh, this doesn't look very good, does it? I contact the website, get the customer support, back and forth, nothing happening. Oh, there's a slight delay, no problem. Anyway, long story short, the Bitcoin exchange that I had my Bitcoin on itself was a fucking scam. No, it didn't get hacked. It was just a goddamn scam from day one. Can you believe it? Now, in my defense, being from Australia, I didn't have as many options. I couldn't go with as reputable of an exchange as Mt. Gox had, just kidding. But in all seriousness, I had limited options. I thought, okay, this is the most reputable Australian exchange that I can find. This is where I'm going to park most of my Bitcoin. And I did exactly that. And I got fucked in the ass. If any of you are wondering the name of this delightful Bitcoin exchange, it was IGOT, as in I got fucked in the ass by a scam exchange. And amazingly, a few years later, this exchange reincarnated, came back to life in a new form under the name Bitlio or something along those lines. This one hurt a little bit more. I mean, I knew it was a Wild West days and I knew there was a possibility of an exchange getting hacked or something along those lines. But after losing a ton of money in a moronic Ponzi scheme that I should have been smart enough to realize, I thought, well, you know, I didn't lose everything. I've got some in exchange here. That's going to be fine. And then it wasn't. I got done with a quick 1-2 punch. And that was me toasted, and that was the end of my cryptocurrency holdings. And to be fair, it wasn't the complete end. I did actually have some Bitcoin on another exchange. At that point in time, like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to use this for philanthropy and charity. I'm giving this shit away. I'm done with Bitcoin. This was a really stupid emotional decision at the time, but I thought, you know what, just whatever. I'm just going to focus on real estate and business and just Bitcoin, whatever. We'll see what happens, but I'm not going to hold it for now. And that's the story of how I lost 141 Bitcoin. If you'd like to troll me a little in the comments, feel free to do the calculations and let me know exactly what that would be worth today. There was a little bit of bad luck in there, but honestly, it was predominantly bad management. I'm an idiot. I should never have invested in that Ponzi scheme. I should have recognized it for what it is, but I was just in too much of a rush. The key lessons here, always do your own research. Don't be in a rush, and if it looks too good to be true, it is. And I know inevitably there's going to be a couple of basement-dwelling adult virgins in the comments ready to say, oh my god, you made this up, it's a fake story, oh my god, you made it all up, it's fake, prove it, prove it, prove it. So here we are looking at my notice of assessment from the Australian Taxation Office after this catastrophic loss. As I mentioned, we can see here my taxable income, $0 for the financial year ending 30th of June 2015. Actually got a substantial refund which made the loss a little less painful. Right idea, wrong approach, lesson learned. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and enjoyed learning how I lost 141 Bitcoin. Rip me. But as I mentioned, this honestly didn't faze me. I was like, you know what, bit of a loss, big deal, I'll just get on with it, keep building my investment portfolio, keep building my career, keep focusing on business, whatever, it is what it is. But you guys aren't quite getting off the hook. Let me know in the comments below, what's the dumbest investment decision you've ever made? I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. I'm seriously such an idiot. And don't forget, if you'd like up to $250 in free crypto bonuses with BlockFi, use the link in the description. You can also get 2 free stocks with WeBull and a free stock with Stake, also linked in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. PS, if you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.